Hey guys, I'm back with another Batmobile, and inside this box is the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, the Moebius model of the Batmobile from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, Moebius released the model kit for this Batmobile some time ago, and it's been available in stores for a while, but they announced that they would release a special assembled and painted version of this model as a Comic-Con exclusive. Now, you guys know I've said before that I am terrible at assembling model kits. I sometimes even have trouble with Legos. I just don't have the talent to make things look as good as I imagine. So when Moebius announced that they would release a pre-assembled special edition of this model, I knew I had to have it. So let's check it out. There were only 500 of these released at the convention, and they were originally priced at around $85, I think. The box that it comes in has a cool sort of abstract image of Batman. And it has some information on the side. And there's another similar image of Batman, this time throwing a batarang, which is very cool. And there's the same Comic-Con exclusive information right there. I love this artwork. To me, it's the kind of image that I think would look great on something like a t-shirt. When you pick up this box at Comic-Con, you also get this commemorative bag. It's pretty cool. It's got this big BvS logo on the front and the Moebius logo at the bottom. On the other side, there's a rendering of the Trinity. And this bag is pretty big. I mean, it's like twice the size of the actual box that the model comes in. So you could have carried a number of things around in this bag at the convention. So let me get the actual packaging for this model out of the box, and we'll take a closer look at what's inside. Now, here is the actual packaging for this collectible. There's an outer sleeve with a close-up print of the BvS Batmobile. And on the side, it has the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con logo and the DC and Moebius logos at the bottom. The other two sides are exactly the same. You get the same image of the Batmobile and the same logos on this side. The display box is on the inside. And like I said, this is an outer sleeve, and you can just pull this part off, and you have the display box underneath. Now, most of this is thin cardboard. It doesn't necessarily feel cheap, but it doesn't really feel sturdy either. I think it looks cool though, It's almost like a trophy case. It has a big image of the BvS logo at the bottom, and the Batmobile is displayed inside this clear plastic case. Now, it's not completely clear. There are these lines to make it almost look like scratched glass or something. It's a cool effect, and you get that on every side. I'm not really sure if it adds or takes away from the display, but I can see how some people might not like it because the scratches sort of obscure the Batmobile. I like it because I think it sort of adds to that weathered Gotham look. Now, inside this case, the Batmobile is sitting on top of this silver box. And I think I discovered why I may have gotten this model for such a good price on eBay. There was some rattling around inside the box when I first picked it up, and I knew that something inside must have been broken. Fortunately, there were only two pieces that had come apart. One of them is this side fender here. And it actually goes right here on the other side. Right in this spot right here. I don't think it will be a problem to fix it. I can just super glue that back into place. But the other piece is the front suspension brace, and I don't think I'll be able to put that one back in without taking the entire model apart. It sucks that I got the model this way, but I will happily glue on one or two pieces in order to save a little bit of money. So I'll go ahead and reattach the fender, and we'll take a closer look at the model. Okay, so out of the box, I think it looks really good. The sculpt of this model is very accurate. And as I suspected, I wasn't able to replace one of the pieces in the front because I would have had to take the whole model apart. But I'm not worried about it because I don't think that it's something that you would notice when it's on display. Over on this side, you can see right here is where the side fender was broken off, and that was simply a matter of gluing it back into place. And from front to back, the model really does look good. Like I said, I'd happily reattach a couple of pieces in order to avoid paying some of those high prices. Now, it has one main feature, which is the rolling wheels, and they all move without any problems. And you can actually move the gun turret up and down a little bit, but I'm not sure if that's what it's designed to do. It may just be a loose piece. There is some sculpting detail inside the cabin, but the canopy is glued shut, so you can't really see if there are any paint apps on the dashboard. It doesn't really have as many paint apps as I was expecting, especially for an exclusive release. It has a few paint apps on the front, and it has the painted lights there. There's some gold and silver on the sides with the hydraulics. The back has a few paint apps, and that's my favorite part of the model. You know, the sculpting there with the exhaust, the brake drums, and I love all the detail on the tires. The tread is pretty deep. I think it makes it look really, really strong. Now, the entire body of the model is made out of this lightweight plastic, so it's definitely for display purposes. It's very light and almost too delicate in some places. I don't have many straight-up models like this one in my collection. It's definitely one of the more fragile Batmobiles that I've picked up. Let me show you underneath, because the detail is pretty elaborate. Right here in the front, that's where that other loose piece was meant to go, but I don't think you really miss it, especially when you're just setting it on display. Now, I think the color of the plastic for the original release was a light gray color, so it's possible that the entire body of this exclusive version was painted with this darker color. It looks black, which isn't exactly movie accurate, but you know, when it hits the light, I love how it has this sort of dark armored gray color, which is closer to what we actually see in the movies. Now, this is a 1/25th scale model, and I really only want to do one side-by-side comparison with it. And that's with the 1/24th scale Jada Metals Diecast version. Now, aside from the color, both of these are very similar to each other in terms of sculpt, and there are some pros and cons with each of them. I'd have to say that the Moebius is a little bit more detailed in terms of the sculpt, especially when you look at it from the backside. The Jada, however, is a more solid construction and has a couple of more features. The wheels roll nicely on both of them. But the Jada also has the articulation on the gun turret, and of course it has the split canopy that opens up to reveal all of the detail inside the cabin. And you can tell that the Moebius is just slightly bigger in scale. It seems to have a little bit more bulk to it too. The Moebius is about 10 inches or 25 centimeters from the gun turret to the back tail fin, and the Jada is about 8.5 inches or 22 centimeters. And you can see on the back, the Moebius, it is a little bit bigger, and I guess that gives it more room for detail. Now, I think the biggest difference between these two is obviously the material that they're made out of. The main body of the Jada is a metal die-cast mold, and the rest of it is made from high-grade plastic. Whereas the Moebius is entirely made from plastic. And again, it's almost this delicate material. You almost can tell that it has more of a potential to break. They're both great models, and I think a talented customizer could really do a lot to take both of them to the next level. And it really depends on what you want. You know, the Jada obviously has more features, but the Moebius model is definitely a more detailed sculpt. In closing, I think this is an awesome model of the BvS Batmobile, but you know, it's definitely not worth the convention price, especially when you consider that the Jada model typically costs just under $20. Now, the standard release of this Moebius model is probably the way to go if you think you can do a good job with assembling it. I've watched some videos online of model makers doing some amazing things with this model, like assembling it so that you don't see any of the seams. They customize the cockpit, they do a movie-accurate paint job, and some even add lights to it. If you can do all of that, then I think the base model kit is the way to go. I just know that if I tried to customize this model, I would probably screw it up. I am happy to have this exclusive version. This is one of my all-time favorite Batmobiles, and I really wanted a larger scale version of this model. Hopefully, one day, maybe Hot Wheels will release a 1/18 scale die-cast version of this Batmobile. Wouldn't that be awesome? But, you know, for now, this Moebius model will have to do. So, we've been looking at the 2016 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, the Moebius model of the Batmobile from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.